Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is me, Rima.
I'm Jaley.
Hi, I'm Zinnia.
And guys, we've been watching today. I think I feel like I've watched a lot of Ram Charan, but maybe that's in my head. But I think we saw definitely one song from Ram Charan, "Run Run," which made us run towards him and not away. And
Mm.
then we saw his dad, who was like giving him, I don't know, competition like no other. Like I have not seen a more energetic man who is in his 50s or 60s than Chiranjeevi Garu. Amazing,
hmm
amazing, talented
Absolutely
megastar.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting tired with the bum bum bole, and the man was unstoppable. Like his energy. I mean, we were really, really enthralled. But yeah, I don't think we could keep up with him. So I thought, why not do something with father and son, like an interview? Get to know their personalities a bit better because I cannot imagine, guys. You tell me, like, if your dad was megastar
Oh
and like
man.
the founding father of Telugu cinema or something like that,
Oof.
I would like crumble with the press. I'll be like, I'm gonna choose microbiology.
You're like,
So
I can't do
different.
it. I can't keep up with it. Not
I
even
Yeah,
gonna
know.
try.
yeah.
So
I
Ram
think I'd do the
Charan,
same.
the pressures are insane, but like the man has now been to the Oscars, won for his performance. So I mean, his
Very cool.
choreography and his dancing with NTR was a big part of it. So good job, Ram Charan. I would have crumbled, but you're a better man or son than I am, or son, daughter, whatever, than I am. Child. Yeah, I'm mumbling, guys. But coming to the interaction, I thought it'd be good to see the chemistry between Ram Charan and Chiranjeevi. So I found, guys, finally, none of you helped me, which is not fair, but I found an interview, Sai Narasimha Reddy in English, or with English. Well, yeah, they are speaking in English. This is with Anupama Chopra. So Chiranjeevi and Ram Charan come together along with Farhan Akhtar Jaley, who is a very big time director, actor, and Ritesh Sidwani, who is a producer.
Awesome.
So Ram Charan is basically with Farhan and Ritesh producing the movie that
Oh.
Chiranjeevi is starring in. So
Okay.
that's
Oh.
yeah, and the movie is
Oh, how cool.
how cool is
Father is
that?
the producer. I mean, son is the producer for the father's film. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a 2019 Indian Telugu language epic historical film directed by Surendra Reddy and produced by Ram Charan, his son. How cool is that? So let's check out father son interaction. And guys, before we get into it, you know what to do. Click subscribe. 80 to 90% of you watch our content and don't subscribe.
What? The math
What?
isn't mathing.
Come on. Doesn't cost you a thing, means a lot to us. A lot, guys. So do subscribe and let's get into it. One, two, three. Play.
Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix.
They're talking
Hit the
about
bell
subscription
icon
too.
so you never miss an update. Thank you and welcome to Film Companion. I've just seen the trailer of Saira and it looks like such
Saira.
a spectacle.
Ooh,
Sir, of
fire.
course, I want to begin with you.
Please.
There you go.
So
The
the
mustache
writers, the
game,
Pachuri
Jaley.
brothers, said that they've been talking to you about this biopic for almost a decade.
Yes.
What about this fascinated you and has fascinated you for this long? And why was this the right time to make it?
Almost right from our childhood in our
Don't that
textbooks, so
mustache
we've
look
been
really big? Looks
reading
big.
about great heroes who fought against British for the freedom. But this story was not told anywhere, and nobody knows about this story. And apart from his freedom struggle, uh, this story has all kind of emotions which will be suitable to a commercial movie. That was I was tempted for that. On
So
top of it, today's youth should know how much that heroes in the history and past they struggled, they sacrificed for the freedom, and now we are enjoying the freedom, and that's the reason this is story. There is no time;
you feel so
it's a
sincere,
timeless.
right? Very
So
Yeah.
sincere.
I thought, yeah, we should make this movie. So
Mustache.
whenever I thought the
Oh, so
problem
thick.
why I didn't uh, go for sets because of the budget constraint. It's a huge film and we have to spend a lot. So
I heard between 200 and 300 crore producer. Is that correct?
yeah, you're right.
Which one, 200 or 300?
He'll know by second October. He'll know by second October.
He's just nodding.
We'll know by 2nd October. There we land.
We're still spending.
Still spending.
So at
So
this
now,
point, it made
yeah,
sense.
now I thought as my 151 film after my comeback, my
151
150th
film.
that is Khaidi number 150.
wild.
It was a
That's so
very
many
big
movies.
hit commercially and it crossed all the previous records. After that, without no time, he crossed me with his
With
film
Rangasthalam.
Rangasthalam.
Of
That's
course.
a different story.
Yeah.
But
I
it
love
has
the family rivalry.
Competition.
and it has given me that now thought, why can't we start this movie? And I have to say thanks to Bahubali. Bahubali, such a movie where it is given us
That was also
thought.
SS Rajamouli, guys.
Even if you
Yeah, I
spend
remember that.
crores in 100, a bit 200, 300, you can get it back, no problem that way. So to give the best, we
We
at
pushed our
Pan
budgets,
India,
yeah.
we can make definitely budget-wise, no problem. Producer can get
Everybody's so
it back.
quiet that he has to speak,
To
poor
an
guy.
extent. And this story has to go and seen by every Indian. That's what I mean. So we have successfully completed the movie, and the result is there in the people's hand. They have to tell how they feel.
So you come in at what stage? When do you two decide Excel needs to be with this film?
I think they decided more than us. Not that we decided. I had no idea of this film. I had no idea of this story. And when Charan and Anil came and met me with it, and they were, discussing at the end of understanding. At that time, he had just a little bit of a teaser, not even up to the same. But he told me the whole process. He told me about since how they were planning, and the sheer fact that you talk of an unsung hero, you talk of the first rebel who actually inspired everything else which came after that. So like we rightfully feel today that we are free, but it had its share of sacrifice for various people. And there is this one character, this one hero which has been unsung. You don't know of him. So for me, that was exciting. And then when he showed me visually what they had done with it, I was completely mesmerized. I said, okay, listen, at the end of it, I was hoping that he leaves the office saying that, yeah, you guys will be on board. So it was reverse. So we were really glad that actually the film came to us, and we were happy, we're all hungry and greedy for good stories. So I thought this was the perfect way of telling the story to a pan-India audience.
But it has been a tough film to make. There was a fire on the set. There was some media reports I saw about descendants coming to ask for money. Charan, was there ever a time where you just felt overwhelmed?
Definitely. I felt overwhelmed many times. Sometimes just dealing with the media, dealing with the guys who
His
like to
stash
claim
game,
and
I
have a bite
can't.
of this whole big thing.
It doesn't even look real. It looks
And then just counseling people
Amazing.
to just get the job done. At the end of the day, our motto was to get the job done. No matter how many problems we had
counsel also
between the
as a
technicians,
producer.
artists, and various departments. So
Looks so
end of the day,
calm.
our motto has to
Right,
be
so
get the
calm.
job done. Nothing stops the shoot.
But
So
I
it is
saw
an
your
effort.
interview with Upasana, and she was saying
That's his
that
wife.
when she saw the action sequences, she came running to you and said, "What are you making him do?"
Yeah.
And you said he'll manage it. But how at 60 plus are you managing it? And did you ever feel like, damn, I'm pushing Dad too far?
I mean, to be frank, I don't know on every day. I was never on the sets, but I used to get an update every 2 days. And I feel once he's on his costume and the makeup, he himself transforms into another person.
Really?
Of course, even if he wants to stop, nobody's going to say and push him.
Of course.
So it's him who gave the whole team that energy that, you can push me. So
How do you do it?
I don't know, that spirit will come automatically when I put. And when it comes to dances, when it comes to fight and all these things,
Oh, dances we've
I'll
seen.
get overwhelmed. That energy will come automatically.
I think the spirit
Maybe
of
you
Narasimha
build in my
came.
body. Yeah. So it like this, I will transform myself. My wife, immediately she has seen when I come back film. So that time my mood, my body language, everything has been changed. And when I was in the film, in politics, serious politician, that time, always, I was occupied and hardly I'll smile, hardly I'll get excited for anything. I was always stressed and other things.
This is his comfort zone. and
Yeah, this is
Really?
Yeah, when
so
I
shoot
enter into
movie
the
sets.
film sets, I'll feel, yeah, this is my area now, this is my area. So I'll become jubilant. So I don't know, without my knowledge, I'll become like that. So my wife says, better be in the film. They discourage me.
Let's do what keeps you happy.
Yeah. So this is your strength. You can do better. So
your
See, if
strength.
you are happy and
Don't come
comfortable,
home.
all of us, we are happy and
Yeah.
comfortable.
But you didn't have a day when when they said, okay, ride this horse or pick up this sword or whatever. There was no moment when you said,
No.
"Nee, nee,
He's
He's in his
this is too
60s.
much."
That's insane.
That day,
Amazing.
no.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Whatever they say, I'll do that. But they have to think whether I can do or not. Is it risky or not risky? But they have to. But I never say no to anything. But recently, some small portions are done by a local fight coordinator, stunt master. They were telling.
Patchwork, yeah.
So how to make him to do, and without, I mean, beyond their imagination, I could do that. And for example, underwater sequences, they're real. So I'm supposed to kill one guy. They planned for 2 days in Bombay.
In
only.
Bombay, there's an
Bombay,
underwater.
there is underwater
where we
sea
shoot
sequence
underwater.
with the Navy something.
Yeah.
is there. And I landed here by 10 o'clock. By 11:30, I was ready with the makeup. Completely underwater. Camera, everything is ready. To acclimatize, they think it will take 2-3 hours. I
But
went,
the sets
what to
were
do. They showed
erected.
me the ground. I went inside, I hold him, I did finish. Within 2 hours, everything has finished.
Wrap
They planned for 2 days. They said, they wondered, they were taken aback. They said, how you could do that? I don't know, easy. I feel like that.
Farhan, career goals, 150 films.
Yeah,
and,
amazing.
So,
No, I mean, I mean, obviously,
so by
given,
3:30, I came back I took my flight that day.
no, I mean, given, of course, his
All right, I'm gonna pause it here, guys, so we can talk. And guys, feel free to talk during the thing. I feel sometimes bad because I know our AR family guys. You kind of keep telling us not to speak too much during the thing, but we also want to give our natural reactions. So thoughts, guys, on Chiranjeevi and Ram Charan.
150 films like that's wow, and pushing 60, like
Yeah.
I think I didn't know much about Chiranjeevi, but like I'm just like massive respect to the guy.
Yeah. Same here.
150 films. How insane is that? Like, I mean, I think it's probably because back in the day, I mean, Zinnia probably knows this with the Indian film industry, they would shoot like 4 or 5 films a year, which is unheard of. Like, I mean, you take the biggest actors in Hollywood, they will not have anywhere close to 100, like, unless they're character actors and they've done a lot of stuff. But typically, like, main leads having 150 movies,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's unheard of, right?
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I loved how healthy the competition was between father and son. Like, I did so and so number of crores, Bahubali did so and then he beat Maing. So then I was like, it's a good time to beat it back with this kind of.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
there seems to be an interesting dynamic. I don't know. What do you think about it, Jaley? Like between father and son? Like Ramcharan is by and large very quiet as a person. I don't know if that's just
Yeah.
his personality or whether it's respect for his
It
dad. I
feels
don't
like
know.
respect as well for the dad.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely taking a step back in this interview.
Mhm.
For his dad to kind of get more of the stardom.
The
But
limelight.
I love
Yeah.
that I love that they're able to work together as well as have that family relationship.
And he helps him a little, like in responses when he gets stuck for a word, like Ramcharan will just put in the word and not
Yeah.
speak more just to assist him. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ramcharan seems like such a gentleman. Like
Yeah.
everything I've seen of him, and we've seen other interviews with him too on the channel, guys, and he just seems like such a polite, like sweet guy.
Gentleman.
Yeah, and in Chiranjeevi as well. Like I felt like there was a childlike innocence to him, wasn't there? Like he was like, "They
Yeah.
told me to do that," but then
I
I
did
went there, it was
it.
done, and then at 3 I could even go away. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it. Like there's a certain like sparkle in his eyes and excitement when he's talking about work, which is so endearing. Like to see someone 150 films old and still nervous and excited, being like, "Oh, now the product is in the people's hands. Let's see if we pass
Yeah.
the test." Like he's
Yeah.
like a student waiting for
Yeah.
his exam marks to come out or something, or
That
grades.
that same thing as we were talking about the previous song that we saw of Chiranjeevi, right? That humility, that just like such innocence that like it does not matter how big a mega star I am and how much I've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I'm still like you only, just like an ordinary person.
I think there has to be something to that. Like, I think, like, I mean, we see that with Shah Rukh, we've done
Yeah.
interviews, we've seen that, we've seen it with bigger stars, I'm sure. And I know in the Southern Indian cinema, Jaley, like, humility is a very big, I don't even know if it's something of a pride for them to be humble. It's a weird thing to say.
A lot
There
of
is
them
a
are
pride
very
to be-
humble. Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah.
that.
It's almost like it's like a cultural trait, like where, I mean, it's almost stereotype, but in a positive stereotype, if that makes sense, where people say Southern Indian actors tend to be very humble, whereas a lot of people have the assumption that if you're from Bollywood or Northern Indian cinema, it's like you tend to be a little bit more like tooting your own horn or something. But yeah, I find that to be repeated quite a bit, right? Whether it's Rajinikanth or your Chiranjeevi or Kamal Hassan, they're all kind of down to earth, right? Like they don't like to brag as much. I mean, they could brag more,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like
it's
'em.
interesting.
It's cool.
I know. I would be nervous though if I had a dad like Chiranjeevi. I'm telling you, I'd retire. I'd be like, I'm not sorry, Dad. You're too good at what you do. It's just, it's like, and there are people I think who struggle to be in the shadows of their parents.
Of course.
So good for Ram Charan to do it and take it so well.
I
All
think
right, let's
one of
get-
them is sitting right there. Sorry, Farhan Akhtar.
Yeah. I know, that's true. That's true. So Farhan Akhtar, Jaley, you don't know him, but he's again a very talented actor director in Hindi cinema,
Yeah.
and he also has his own production house. So,
But his father is legendary. And yeah, I'm sure it's really hard for him to fill father's shoes.
Yeah, it's a lot to follow up with. It's a big
but
shadow.
the father, just to clarify, is not an actor. He's
Yeah.
a lyricist. So
Lyricist.
he's a bit of a he writes. You know, he used to write scripts back in the day, like some of the epic stories. And so he was a script writer. And then he's a lyricist, so not completely the same thing. So maybe that helps
Sure.
to not be in the exact same lane.
Sure.
Whereas Ram Charan is doing exactly what
Yeah,
Chiranjeevi is doing.
for sure.
And he's doing a dang good job.
Yep.
We love him.
Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh no, this one doesn't work. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, go.
The regard that people have for him. So I can't imagine him not behaving professionally on any set.
Correct.
You know, but the fact is that also this film is something he's lived with for 12 years. You know, the genesis
wow.
of wanting to make this film and tell this story has come from him.
Look at the
And
excitement.
that
Like he's
somehow
sitting
there's
with
an
his
X
hands
factor
and looking
always
so.
in that. You know, when it comes from inside of you, it's not just a job.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
that can somehow compel you and get you to do things that are unimaginable.
Yeah. I agree with Farhan Akhtar. He's right. Maybe that thing. That's your speed. That might have
Just the
drove me
obsession
to
with
the-
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Charan, is this the sort of burden of bringing his obsession to life? Has that been
looks so
a challenge
serious.
for
He
you?
is.
I mean,
yeah.
you also have your own acting career. You have many things you're doing, and then this is a dream he's had, and this is also inspired because you got to do Magadhira and he had never done a costume. Correct?
Rivalry,
This
for
rivalry
real.
is just playing itself out.
I'm jealous of his. I mean, when I saw this film Magadhira, real I'm envy.
Yeah.
Oh, envy.
Was it very difficult?
I don't know if it's karma or what, where his dream project, I had to become this. But any role has some challenges, and that's inevitable. But I really enjoyed these challenges, and doing something your dad really wanted to do for like 20 to 12 odd years, and making that happen for him, for everything he's done for your family, for myself personally, my
Such a
career.
dutiful son.
Nothing I give him back would ever suffice and equal that. This is nothing. I can do much more for him, and I'll continue to do so.
Wow.
Are there any specific challenges for actor
good
producers?
son.
Do you ever
Yeah.
find yourself in a place where you are really dying to do something as actors, but you know when you have your producer hat on, it doesn't make sense? I don't know. Does that happen? Is that a thing?
Absolutely. I mean,
It does?
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to run away.
He wants to run away.
Obviously, those are the times you feel challenged and you refocus and do something, some magic.
Yeah, that does happen. I mean,
Do you
read
want to
something-
run away,
No,
Farhan?
it's not a question of running away. You read something and you
break.
inherently feel that this belongs to this actor,
I love
or it
this,
belongs to somebody because of a
Farhan's,
certain, I don't know,
head
maybe
thing,
their
right?
persona, their image, the way you know them. That does happen, and many times there've been scripts, for example, that have come to me, to act in, and that we've ended up producing. But somebody else has been in because I've always felt like it's somebody, it would suit that person more. And so every actor, I mean, of course, you want to be as versatile as you can,
Yeah.
and you want to be as complete as you can. But everyone has their strengths.
Sure.
And if a script comes that plays so correctly to somebody's strengths, I mean, it would be unfair for you to not at least try and get that person to start with.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
this film has the most amazing actors. I mean, apart from you, there's Vijay Sethupathi and Sudeep and Ravi Kishan. I mean, it's just like this kind of line, Mr. Bachchan. Oh my God, like the cameo is Mr.
I
Bachchan.
didn't know that.
So, Farhan, when you
That's
see
legendary
this,
Amitabh
does this
Bachchan.
role as producer also sometimes kind of inform the acting? Do you take away anything from this experience that you can put into the acting also for you? Does that cross over in any way?
I don't know how to apply that. I mean, eventually, I mean, I'm sure he would agree, there are two things that always come into play. One is maybe a fantasy of wanting to work with someone. So if that comes along, maybe you'll make a certain exception to what's being offered to you because you really want to be a part of a certain film or you want to work with a certain director or co-act, with somebody. So you would do that. But beyond that, I think it would be, even if it's one scene in a film or two scenes in a film, there has to be something for you to do. I mean, you just don't want to be a prop.
Correct.
So as long as you're getting something to do, I don't think scenes and number of scenes and all matter. If the story is great and you have a role to play, I think that is what is crucial. And apart from that, of course, you have fantasies of wanting to be in a film with someone. And when that comes along, why not? I mean, just for the sake of ticking that off your list, that I got to be in a film with this person. Yeah, for sure. I mean, do it for free. Why charge money for it? Because it's fulfilling
It's
another
your
part of
dream.
your life.
Yeah.
No, that
That's a
way
nice
really I
thought.
indebted to Amitabh Bachchan sir. Just I called him and I had to do a character which is a mentor to me. He said, for me it is a Telugu is a problem. I said, no problem, whatever language you are comfortable with, you can talk and deliver your dialogues. I said, then okay, no problem, I'll do. And that was the first time he was doing other language films.
I must say, he didn't even charge for his flight tickets.
That is a
Nothing
greatness with
except,
that man. You said, as I was telling, they might do free. So that way, Mr. Bachchan, he did allow me to
Nothing.
keep a private jet for travel. And,
Nothing.
I offered
amazing.
how to.
I could not push him
no,
more than
I
that.
just did for your friendship and that's it, Chiranjeevi. We are my known friends since long time. You just asked. I said yes. I said no
gracious
problem.
of him.
And really, I learned
They're
a
both like
lot
completing each other's
Yeah.
sentences.
with his gestures. Wonderful.
So cute.
And that way we are so
Smiles
lucky
on their
to
faces.
have of
They're like brothers, not
Amazing
fathers.
that you, after 40 years of making movies, are still excited and saying, I learned from
Yeah.
this, I learned from that. I mean, that's just wonderful. How do you keep this? I mean, 150 films, that's
I mean, one
insane.
thing I don't keep in my mind what I achieved and what my experience and all this. I'll just try what to do next. How to
that's a good
give
point.
best of my ability. And that's how I look into future. That's the reason I don't feel like that. That's it.
In that interview, you also said, Charan is my greatest achievement. Is that a lot of pressure for you?
It's like
Just a little bit of pressure.
so cute.
You know,
Love
what I
there.
love when I saw this trailer and even the teaser is that you've got, of course, yourself, massive Telugu star. You've got Mr. Bachchan, massive Hindi film star. You've got Vijay Sethupathi, who's one of the most exciting actors. I feel like genuinely the sort of these walls between industries no longer exist.
Yeah, you are right.
And it's so exciting for me as a lover of cinema, as an observer of cinema, as a chronicler of cinema, to just see that anything is possible. And I have to tell you this story that when I first saw that, and I was like, wait, which language is it? Like, because it could be anything. It could be Telugu, Malayalam, I'm not Malayalam, but Telugu, Tamil, Hindi. And so tell me, what do you see happening in the next few years as these synergies keep going, as people like you put your muscle and might behind these films, you're making these grand spectacles. What happens now for Indian cinema?
Oh, I mean, everything now has become Indian cinema. Earlier it used to be South or it used to be
Right.
Bollywood and all. Now we've
Hindi.
started using these phrases that it's more become one. And I think all these films, I think what is happening is that no more, I don't think these boundaries, which I mean, earlier somebody asked us this, but I've never experienced that. I've never thought about it like that. And obviously the audiences are evolving. Today we're not only watching Indian regional cinema, we're watching world cinema. Like often we started, because of the digital medium. We're exposed to
Exactly.
everything. And when you see these kind of stories, it doesn't matter now whether it's dubbed, whether it's not dubbed, whether even if the film wasn't dubbed and it had subtitles. I would, whatever I've seen of it, I've seen it in subtitles.
Correct.
I've only seen like almost 10, 15 minutes of film, but he had to subtitle because there was no way I was going to get
Sure.
it. So I think definitely
We too. We need
with
subtitles.
the stories which we are talking about, like this story, if it wasn't, I mean, we were not, I was not aware of the story. Most people were not. So I think with them discovering these stories and sharing it with an entire audience is exciting. So I think obviously with the audience is going, even film content-wise, you're going to be encouraged to tell these kind of stories. He had to wait 12 years. Hopefully next time he likes something, it won't take that long. So I think it's good times, for a good story.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it. Thank you. Thank you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
Thank you,
Before wrap
guys.
up, I would like
Yes.
to say thanks to all my co-stars, Vijay Sethupathi and Dilip, Sudeep and Kishan and one Mr. Jagpati Babu and of course
Tamanna and
Tamanna.
so it's an endless list.
Nayanthara
Yeah.
and Amitabh Bachchan. They cooperated so well and they won the film. And with a small request, this thing, they obliged. So whenever we want dates, they have given, wherever we asked them to come, they came all the way, even to Tbilisi, like, Georgia. And really, the cooperation which I got it from all the actors, and really amazing, and really, through your film companion, I would like to convey my thanks to each and everyone.
It's where you're asking. You have to, who's at the other end of the line also? You are asking.
That way I'm very happy.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you.
And
These two.
there are
Two
Nitish
fine
and
men.
Farhan, Ravita, Anil, they came forward. They're being part of this film. Humongous.
So you all have put
Film,
3
yeah.
years, we've been only 1 month. So
Don't give us
you.
too much credit, right?
thank you.
Heartfelt thanks to these guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you like this video, please do subscribe Film Companion.
Our channel too.
Saira.
Thank you, Chiranjeevi, for the shout out to us.
I know.
Yeah, to subscribe to us.
Chiranjeevi actually meant it for us guys as
Yeah,
well. He
you
mentioned
heard him. You
it,
have to
right.
listen to
do
Chiranjeevi
it.
now, please. Subscribe, yaar.
Chiranjeevi Garu said, no, come on. I'm kidding. But oh my god, that was so adorable. Did you want to just hug Chiranjeevi? I want to be like, oh, you're so cute.
Yeah, so humble, so nice, and like appreciative, and
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the love fest at the end where everybody
Yeah.
was kind of like, oh no, too much. Right? At the end, everyone's like, it's okay. I have to say, like, coming to what we were wanting to discover, I think it's so adorable, the dynamic between father
Yeah.
and son.
oh yeah,
Right? Like, I felt at some points it was kind of emotional, like, without intending it, like that moment where Anupama Chopra was like, you had said Ram Charan is your greatest achievement. And the father just automatically puts his hands around Ram and he's all like, like he's not very, like, Ram Charan is not a very expressive guy. Like, he's very quiet, but you
Yeah.
get to see him all chuffed and smiling. Like, it's so, it's so adorable.
It
Oh, yeah.
was.
Jaley, your thoughts?
Love
Zinnia,
it.
your thoughts?
I love having it in the family. Yeah, this is really interesting. I like that they like. So this movie that they're doing, it's based off of a real history, huh?
Yeah, so this was actually, the movie's already released. So this
Oh.
was like 2019. The movie had come out, and I'm just gonna look it up so we have a
So
little
what
bit of.
they said, while you're looking that up, what they said, I would like to let you know. So Narasimha Reddy was a freedom fighter who was an unsung hero, not so commonly known in the
Yeah.
list of freedom fighters. And so this story brings out what he did, and that
So,
the fact that we didn't know that is
I
great.
want to add a little bit to that, Zivi.
Yeah,
So I have the Wikipedia thing. It says it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
work of fiction. And guys, let us know in the
Oh,
comments because I know some of you are very particular about this. So if we have this wrong or if Wikipedia has it wrong, please correct us. But it says here it's a work of fiction, but the film is inspired by the life of Indian independence activist Uliada Narasimha Reddy. So it is Narasimha Reddy, but
Cool.
it's still like somewhat, well, which makes sense. It's
Yeah,
somewhat
like
fictionalized. Yeah.
fictitious. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. What do you guys think of the interaction between Ram and his father?
Very wholesome.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I
it's
agree.
interesting that they're competitive and yet there is like you
Yeah,
can see there's like so much love, and when Ram speaks there's such gravitas to him, right? Like there's a
yeah.
certain like sincerity. Like I don't know, like like I mean I know they're actors and I know people are on camera and they're trying to put up a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
try to put up the best face, but I sense in his silence a sense of like he's like I can do so much more for him. Like almost felt
Yeah.
like he was
Yeah,
saying that I could sacrifice my life. Like it felt like that kind of gravitas that I would do anything for him
yeah,
without saying as much. Like I don't know, Ram Charan has a like I don't know. He always comes across to me as a person with a lot of integrity. I
Yeah.
just maybe it's
Absolutely.
just yeah, right? Like an energy we get, but
yeah,
we just seems like someone who speaks little, but when he says something, there's a lot of meaning behind it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine and, like, as you're saying, integrity. Both of them, different ways of expressing it, but both of
Hmm.
them have that very genuine feels.
I would
Yeah.
I would say even guys, tell me what you think about this, but Chiranjeevi seems like the extrovert. Like he seems like
Mm-hmm.
he's social. He likes to
Yeah,
talk, and like even in the end
Yeah.
when Anupam was like, "We're done," like I want to add a little bit more. Like he's a talkative
yeah.
guy who's probably the life of the party, and I feel like sometimes when you grow up with personalities like that, like
Oh.
you know what I mean? In my in the
Mm.
in Ram Charan's case, he almost kind of became a bit more subdued. Like he's
Mm,
still
yeah.
powerful, but he's a bit more quiet, and he lets his dad shine, which is kind of funny because my dad is very rambunctious, and I am rambunctious as well. Like it didn't affect me at all. I was like, yeah, yeah, so what? We both speak, okay. But I think sometimes it kind of goes that way,
Yeah,
right? Like if you have a father who's like, because everybody was almost quiet. Farhan
Mm-hmm.
Akhtar was quiet when Chiranjeevi was speaking. Ram Charan was definitely quiet,
I'm sure
you
it
know?
was just like a lot of respect for him.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
40 years in the business, 150 films, like that's
yeah,
how can you not respect that?
yeah. You wait for every word, and you wanna be very
yeah,
respectful and
Mm-hmm.
take it all in when someone of that experience and such humility is talking, completely. um but me and my mom are like that.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I think she's the teenager. Even when I was a teenager, she was the teenager. I was
Mm-hmm.
Right,
just like,
right.
wow, where do you get all this energy from, mom?
Sometimes
Just
our parents are
always
just
bouncing off the walls, and I'm just like, oh
You're
god.
like, I can't do it.
yeah, no, that's always like my parents are actually probably more adventurous than I am. Like they've traveled the world, Brunei, this, that, like all these like
Mm.
Mongolia, like places that I would have probably not been like, I'm like, no, I'm too lazy. I want to be home. But no, I sense that with him. But what I like about Chiranjeevi, and I think that's the fountain of youth thing, because I've always wondered this
Mm,
about people, whether it's Tom Cruise. I'm just thinking because the new Mission Impossible came out recently, but Tom
Mm.
Cruise, and then I think of someone like Chiranjeevi, then I think of someone like Shah Rukh Khan. Couple of takeaways, and these are my observations. So, guys, and I'm sorry, guys, this is going to be a bit long format with interviews. It often tends to be, but
yeah.
my
We like to
feeling is,
discuss.
yeah, we love to
Hmm.
talk, we love to share our thoughts, but what I've noticed with these guys and what keeps them going, and maybe is a part of the secret to their youth or success, is they still behave like kids. Like, in the sense, like, you
Mm-hmm.
see their energy, and it's always like, okay, yeah, we're done with that project. What's the next one? And I've
Yeah.
seen that repeatedly said by people who are successful, where they're like, yeah, that was great, but I'm always excited about what's next.
You
What am
gotta
I
have
going
your
to do
sense of
next?
play still intact. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
be looking
sense of
forward.
play, sense of upping yourself, sense of,
And because, I mean, when that gives you the most amount of joy, you're
Mm.
just always looking for the next one because you're not currently doing one. So
mm,
it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to me and my well-being, literally, if I
yeah.
don't have something else that excites me like that. So you need that almost.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like that, like with projects that you do? I mean, we are obviously nowhere compared to the legacy of a Chiranjeevi, but do you, like, I feel like that too. Like anytime I
Mhm.
achieve something, and I was sharing something special, like on a personal level with the girls recently, a personal update. But now that I have that achieved, I'm like, what's next? What am I
Yeah.
gonna do?
Right.
And it's
Yeah. You
sometimes I
got it.
feel like,
It's checked. The box is checked.
yeah,
What's next? Where do I go next?
I definitely do feel that. I think it's because like anytime I do finish something,
Mm,
I have like a sense of melancholy. I'm like, oh, it's over. Like it
yeah,
was
yeah.
so great, and now it's over. And like,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing live theater,
Yeah.
you
oh
are
right,
dedicating like at least 3 nights a week, several
Yeah.
hours a week
Yeah.
to learning a song and
Yeah.
dance and lines and
Yeah.
spending time with these people and creating a family, and
Yeah.
then you do a weekend or two of shows and you're done.
Yeah.
Like you
wow,
have to like have something to look
break yourself
forward to.
apart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Or you're
That
just gonna like fall apart.
that was literally what I was going to talk about, Jaley.
Mm,
I
Wow.
used to do a lot of theater in India, and now I've been in the
I
US for
miss it.
almost 3 years, and it hasn't happened for me here. And in India, it was like I was on two projects at a time. There was
Mm,
always an overlap. It was one after the other. I was always on the move, and I was always doing mostly theater. And
I
I
miss
have been
college for that.
feeling so bad that it doesn't live in my life currently, and it does not, that I don't forget the stage and the shows, but just showing
Mhm.
up to a space where you're creating that, you're exploring, you're finding that character, you're finding the story. That is just a craving that nothing else can fix.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. The
yeah.
creative outlet. I went and I
Yeah.
saw a show in LA last Wednesday that some of my
Yeah.
friends put on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like it was a great show, but I couldn't help feeling like selfishly a little sad because I was
Yeah.
like, man, I miss this. I want to be there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that the
Yeah,
artistic feeling. You gotta be doing something creative.
yeah, that's probably what keeps them going, right? Like Chiranjeevi, right? Like
Hmm.
he's done with his 151. Is like, okay, what's next? And oh,
Yeah.
Ram just did this, and I'm envious. I want to do something similar. But there is
Yeah.
that. I think. I feel like especially when you're a creative person of that stature and
Yeah.
having achieved so much, that is incredible to have that hunger still alive. And
Yeah.
he's
Hmm.
hungry. You can tell he's hungry. He's like a student. He's sitting there nervous
Yep.
with his hands tied. Yeah. um so no, I think this was a very insightful interview, and of course thanks to you guys, Zinnia, Jaley. I'm obviously not in that level of like that creative process, that dynamic thing, though I have done a little bit in school, stage plays and all. But I feel like that is a different high, right? The creative process and working with people and collaborating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks for sharing those experiences. So yeah, guys, any final words on this interview before we wrap up?
No, that's great. I'm excited to see them do even more together. I don't think that
Yeah.
Chiranjeevi is gonna be retiring any day now.
Yep.
Keep going.
And I was going to add, Ramcharan now is blessed with a beautiful baby with his wife, Upasana.
Yes.
And they moved in with their parents. They moved in with Chiranjeevi and his wife so that they can all be together. So the family bonds and the ties go deep. So,
Love
yeah,
that.
guy. Yeah, good for them. So, guys, this was our reaction to Ramcharan and Chiranjeevi. I know you guys are massive fans of these actors. Some of you for sure, many of you for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this reaction with this father-son duo, dynamic duo. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and seeing us for the first time. Follow me, Jaley, Zinnia, social media links down below. And we'll see you guys when?
Next
Next
time.
time.
Next time. Bye
Bye.
bye.